Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be discussing a game that I've never showcased on the channel before. But it's alright, I love showcasing different games on the channel. You know, I'm all about variety gaming with a little bit of a focus on Gran Turismo. And today we're going to be talking about Pokemon Go, which kind of sounds weird on the face of things. Because, you know, some people think that this game kind of died back in 2016, not long after it came out. But honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth. The PvP community within the game is absolutely thriving right now, and I've actually been playing Pokemon Go since the day it came out over here in the UK. And I've been playing PvP since the day that form of gameplay was released. So, why is it the best time to start playing Pokemon Go again, or maybe even for the first time right now? Well, we just had the World Championships, and out of all the Pokemon games that were showcased there, Pokemon Go actually had the largest amount of viewers watching the live stream of the World Championships, and that was amazing to see. A new season of Go Battle League has just started, so we're in season 12 now, and there's loads of new moves and new buffs to previous moves that we can actually try out, which really mixes up the gameplay, which is really good. And if you are someone who used to play Pokemon Go and wants to try it again, wants to get back into it, I believe I actually have a referral code which I will put on the video if I remember. If not, I'll put it on the description or in the comments or somewhere. Basically you can use it, and I believe you get like a load of items designed to kind of help you catch up in terms of what you've missed. So in terms of my stats, you know, why should you trust me as a battler? Well, you know, I'm certainly not the best in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but I have hit Legend, which is the highest rank on more than one occasion, and I also hit the leaderboard for the first time ever last season at 3,320 ELO. So that put me at like number 454 in the world. And that was about 2 weeks, I think, from the end of the season. I decided to take a couple of weeks off after that, just to have a break and get refreshed for this brand new season, which is currently underway as of Thursday. So, what are we going to be looking at in today's video? Well, we're going to be looking at some of my first battles of Season 12. And I'm going to be featuring an interesting Pokemon, actually. It's Sylveon, which you don't usually see in Great League. But don't worry, we are not running Charm. We're actually running Quick Attack. Quick Attack recently got buffed. I think previously it was 7 energy per turn that you got with Quick Attack, but now it's 8 energy per turn, so you can generate energy a lot faster and get to your moves quicker. So it's a really good Pokemon, and we're going to get into some battles that showcase a team around Sylveon today. But first, I did want to play this. This was actually my attempt at the first battle of the season, so I logged in on Thursday evening, ready to start a new season of Go Battle League, and the game just didn't really work. You know, I did say, obviously, a lot of bugs have been fixed, but in terms of Thursday's battles, well, there was just a ridiculous amount of lag, and other people on Twitter said that they experienced a similar thing as well, so I don't know whether Niantic's servers just struggled to cope with the newfound popularity of Go Battle League after the Worlds, but for whatever reason, the game was just absolutely unplayable for me. I know some people actually managed to get some battles. For example, I was watching Homeslice Henry's stream, and he seemed okay. But yeah, so I basically did one battle on Thursday, and well, you can see how it's going. Let's see, is this gonna... Oh, so the opponent does actually shield that, but then the opponent is actually trying to farm me down here, and I try and fire off my Moonblast, and it just doesn't work. So yeah, that was the one game I played on Thursday. Decided to just call it a day there. So let's get into the first proper battle. So as you can see, I'm running Sylveon, Trevenant, and Diggersby. So Trevenant is pretty much a meta pick. I try not to play too much meta, to be honest, but I think, like, in terms of my strengths as a battler, one thing I like to think that I'm decent at is building a decent team. Now, if you look on PvPoke, if you're not familiar with PvPoke, it's a fantastic resource. The website is also run by someone else called Matt. So he must be a good guy. And yeah, it's just a phenomenal resource. You can look at basically how your team stacks up against the Great League meta. And actually, Sylveon and Diggersby look like they made an amazing core. And then basically I added Trevenant in there just because we needed some more coverage for water types. Specifically Swampert, really, so that's why I put Trevenant in there. You might have noticed on my first ever battle, the one that didn't really work, I actually had Runerigus in there, not Trevenant, but I thought, yeah, you know what, I really need some more Swampert coverage, so I swapped Runerigus out. I probably will look to try it again, because it's another Pokemon that got buffed this season. It just got access to Shadow Claw, which made it a ton better than what it was before. Before then, it only had access to Astonish, which was terrible. So anyway, yeah, basically that's the team. Sylveon is like an anti-fighter, and then Diggersby basically covers for its Steel-type weaknesses and also its Poison-type weaknesses as well. And Trevenant is very much the safe swap. Very weird game there, by the way. I know I didn't commentate that one, but we will go on to commentate the other ones now. I just wanted to tell you about the team. The opponent actually didn't shield at all throughout the entire battle. You have 2 shields, you can use them, you cannot roll them over and have 4 shields in the next battle, so do use them. So anyway, Kanto Ninetales lead here. This would normally be a bad lead for a Fairy type, because Fire resists Fairy, but because we had Quick Attack, this is actually a much better matchup than it was if we had Charm. So we actually get a shield from the Psyshock there. I was quite surprised, so I'm going to shield in return because I think I can get to 2 more Psyshocks before my opponent can get to another Weather Ball. So firing off the first Psyshock here, that one goes unshielded. Sylveon hits hard, by the way. And we get to our second Psyshock here, so the opponent either has to give me their final shield or they have to let it go. And they choose to let it go, so there you go. Fire type just beat a Fairy type just beat a Fire type in the one shield. Very impressive. So they come in with Wigglytuff, and then they come in with an Excadrill. I saw the typing in the top right hand corner, and I thought it was going to be G-Fisk, but no, it's Excadrill, and it's a Mudslap Excadrill as well, so I wasn't overly familiar with the counts. I tried to catch a Drill Run on Trevenant, I thought it didn't work out, and then they just decided to throw a Drill Run anyway. So these are early rank battles, by the way, so some Pokemon may be single moved, and they also may be running some of the wrong moves as well. Like, you definitely want Mudshot rather than Mudslap, but then you probably don't want to play Excadrill in Great League anyway. So I land the Seed Bomb. This secures the fact that it's now in Earthquake range, so all I have to do now is land an Earthquake. So yeah, anyway, Sylveon. Sylveon hits pretty hard. It has comparable bulk to something like an XL Sableye, so it's not the tankiest, but it's got, you know, average bulk. It can take a move. But yeah, we will see some Steel types in some of these battles. And it's actually quite amazing how much damage a Moonblast can do, a resisted Moonblast to a Steel type, and we will see that, as I say, later in the video. So, Swampert Skarmory core, very common core in Great League, but this one is actually a Steel Wing Skarmory, so again, make sure you TM your Pokemon. If you want to run Skarmory, I would definitely recommend Air Slash. Steel Wing is good for the Flying Cup, but yeah, if you haven't used your Skarmory since then, don't forget to TM away Steel Wing. So anyway, I guess like the problem with this team is, and there's always problems to any team, right, is that we don't really have a great answer for a flying type. But at least we can hit that Skarmory with Fire Punches with Diggersby. So yeah, Diggersby is probably our best response to a Skarmory. Wasn't really expecting the Skarmory safe swap though. Skarmory typically used on the lead or in the back. Not usually the best safe swap because it gets very easily walled by Steel types. But anyway, so it turns out that there's a Shadow Gramble in the back actually. I make a mistake here actually, so I went for Moonblast. That probably was not the play. I should have just gone for 2 Psyshocks. But you can see with Quick Attack now we can get to these moves so fast. So we can at least get off another Psyshock, and then we're actually able to Shadow Claw it down before they're able to get to a charge move, or indeed land a charm on us. So we can very safely shield here and just get to the Seed Bomb and take out the Swampert because, of course, it is double super effective. So yeah, I think overall, I think I went 18-2 with this team, so 18 wins, 2 losses, and the 2 losses were just kind of hard counter losses where I was hard countered on the lead, the swap, and in the back, so there was just kind of no way of winning those matches. So I was 18-2 at the time. I have played some matches since then, and I have lost a few more, but I do believe in this team actually. Sylveon's only ranked like 105 now, I think, but I really enjoyed using it actually. As I say, with quick attack you get to your moves so fast, and you can output a lot of damage. Look how much that neutral Moonblast did. We're actually able to win the lead there, but it does cost us a shield. So I think in later games, I think I usually bait with Psyshock in that same matchup, but for this one I went straight for Moonblast and it worked. So I can't complain. So we have a Trevenant coming in now. I choose to swap out and preserve my Sylveon because I have 2 decent responses to a Trevenant. Diggersby, being, well, a normal ground type, obviously takes super effective damage from the Seed Bombs, but it does resist the Shadow Claws and the Shadow Ball. Trevenant, on the other hand, takes super effective damage from these Fire Punches, but does resist all of Diggersby's ground type moves. So it's a pretty even matchup, but it's slightly favourable for Diggersby just because it has better bulk. So you can easily take 2 Seed Bombs, as you saw there, and I think the opponent actually lost track of my energy there, so I was able to land another Fire Punch, and now I'm a shield up against Sableye in the back, so they knew it was over. I think it was a slightly underleveled Sableye as well, so it probably would have died to a Shadow Ball. So yeah, opponent knew that it was over, so GG there. So hopping into the next battle, we have another Azumarill. I was actually quite surprised to see so many Azumarill. I know it's a classically strong pick in Go Battle League, but I think in the recent seasons it has kind of fallen out of favour a little bit. It's definitely not as strong as it once was. So they only went up to 5 bubbles there, so I knew that was just an Ice Beam, so I knew that I didn't have to shield it. And Moonblast lands for neutral damage, and it does over half of Azumarill's HP. So I think maybe a slight mistake again here. I thought they would probably shield that, having seen the damage that Moonblast did, but they didn't shield it, so I'm just going to let this go, because I think I can Shadow Claw it down before Azumarill gets to another move. That's 3, that's 4, and that's 5, so they died with the move there. We were just able to farm them down, which is fantastic for us. So let's see if they have a counter to Trevenant. Let's see, I think that was a Bastiodon that came in. So yeah, again, you know, the team comps in these early stages as well are somewhat surprising. I don't know why they didn't come in with Sableye there. I think they should have probably come in with Sableye. But yeah, if you see Azu on the lead, you've always got to assume that they have some kind of grass counter in the back. So against Sableye here, this is a decent matchup for Diggersby, because again, you're resisting you're double resisting the Shadow Claw, so they're really not doing much. And I don't really have to shield any of these foul plays yet. However, I do want to keep my Diggersby alive for that Bastiodon though. So I'm just going to bait with Fire Punch. Let's see what happens. And they actually called my bait this time, so good play from the opponent there. So I'm just going to keep throwing Fire Punches. I just want to get all their shields off the table so I can land an Earthquake on that Bastiodon. So here we go, they're going to be throwing another foul player now, so I am going to start shielding now, because as I say, I need to preserve my Diggersby. Let's see what they do here. They actually come into Bastiodon, and I'm going to throw an Earthquake, and I'm going to try a little cheeky undercharge here. This was completely unnecessary. And then try and farm down with Trevenant, but as you can see, I was one short. It was so close to the perfect undercharge, but I slightly misjudged that. We shield the Flamethrower. I needlessly throw one Shadow Claw there. That was a risk that I didn't have to take, so I shouldn't have done that. I should have just thrown a Shadow Ball straight away, but we win. GG. Alright, hopping into the next battle now. Let's see what we have this time. So Nidoqueen on the lead, very tough for Sylveon. So, going to safe swap into Trevenant straight away. Looks like the Nidoqueen is going to stay in and debuff me with Poison Fang, which is fine. It still does quite a lot of damage, that. And then they swap into Sableye. So at this point, I'm just going to throw Seed Bombs because I just want to get some guaranteed damage on the Sableye. I actually thought they would probably shield at least one of these, but as it turns out, great play from my opponent. It turns out that they didn't have to shield either of them, and they can still farm me down and preserve Switch. So good play for my opponent not to shield there. But yeah, when that happens, it kind of makes you wish that you'd gone for the bigger move, right? Because Shadow Ball would have done a lot of damage, and I could have actually flipped switch there. However, I'm just going to farm this Sableye all the way down. I knew that was just a foul play, that was not enough for a return. And they actually come in with Registeel, which surprised me. I think probably they just didn't want to have to take the Psyshocks on Nidoqueen, but yeah, very interesting play. They actually bait me with Zap Cannon there, which was a good play. I think in one of these matches, I think it might be this one, I think it was a, and they don't shield that by the way, and this is only a Poison Fang, so I don't have a shield. Yeah, in one of these matches, I don't know if it was this one, but I did face like a single moved Zap Cannon Registeel. So obviously I'm going to be shielding because I don't want to get hit by a Focus Blast, right? But we'll have to wait and see if this is the match. So I do actually bait with Fire Punch there. I'm baiting a lot more than I would usually do. And yeah, there you go. So they Zap Cannon me again. And then I switch out just to reset my debuff. I think I got debuff there. I'm so used to Zap Cannon being 100% debuff. But now Registeel got an ever so slight nerf. Now it's only a 66% chance to debuff your attack by one stage with Zap Cannon. But you can see, look how much damage those resisted Moon Blasts are doing. So this Registeel is going to have to throw. I think they throw another Zap Cannon. Yeah, so I think this was the match where they only had one move. They only had one charge move on their Registeel. So yeah, I know it can be expensive to give legendary Pokemon or mythical Pokemon a second charge move, because it takes like 100 candy and 100,000 Stardust. But yeah, I think that you always want a second charge move on your Pokemon. I can't really think of many Pokemon where you could probably get away with just having one charge move. Not at least in the Open Great League anyway. Tough lead here. A bit of a core breaker. So Crobat obviously resists fairy type moves. But then my Trevenant doesn't really want to see this either, because it doesn't want to take those air slashes. So they go straight for Poison Fang, of course. That's fine. I'm going to go for the Psyshock. Now, do they know about Psyshock? No, they don't. Oh, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't shield that, but I'm gonna catch the Poison Fang on the Diggersby, and of course that does like no damage because it's double resisted. But yeah, so I guess that's how you deal with Crobat. If I had Charm, that would be a really tough matchup. That would be a really big core breaker for us. But now we've got Quick Attack. It's actually fine. So you could probably flip a few of those poison type matchups with Sylveon now, if whatever Pokemon you're facing doesn't have a poison type fast move. Like, for example, you know, when we faced up against Nidoqueen before, I definitely don't want to stay in that matchup, because Nidoqueen's fast moves would just do too much damage. So here we go, Diggersby versus Trevenant again. This is a bit of a theme of this video. And they come into Talonflame now, so I'm going to throw the Earthquake here. It's only single resisted, so it still does decent damage. And then I kind of have no choice but to swap into Trevenant. And my opponent is massively over-farming here, and I actually try and force a CMP type here, which was slightly risky, because if they hadn't thrown, then they would have got an entire free fast move through. So let's see, so obviously the Flame Charge, I'm just going to throw double Seed Bomb, just to get rid of this Talonflame. And then they've just got the Trevenant remaining. Now this is slightly scary. Now, actually at the time I forgot that I had a Psyshock stored on Sylveon. So if I knew that, then I would have just come in with Sylveon. But to be honest, coming in with Diggersby anyway wasn't too bad, because it forces my opponent to throw their charge move, and then I can just fire off my Psyshock now. So I wasn't sure who won CMP anyway, out of Sylveon and Trevenant, so I guess that was the safer play really, because there was no way that Trevenant could farm Diggersby down with those double resisted Shadow Claws, so it worked out. Alright, hopping into the next match now, and we come up against a Medicham. So we actually have two answers for Medicham on this team. However, I am going to swap into Trevenant here. My opponent just quits. Hard cancelled on the lead, hard cancelled on the swap. My opponent's just out of there. He's got no time for any of that. So that was a very quick battle there. So next matchup, we have another Medicham lead, and then we cut. My opponent swaps into Lantern, and I respond with the wrong Pokemon. I was actually expecting this to be a Spark Lantern, but it's not. It's a Water Gun Lantern, which is actually terrible for Diggersby. So I know I'm going to lose swap now, so I'm just going to try and make sure that I at least take a shield advantage. So yeah, bad swap from me, and I'm not going to throw the Fire Punch here. I'm just going to build up to another Earthquake. If I throw the Fire Punch there, then it just means that the Lantern can probably farm me down. So there's no point there. So yeah, basically I just have to take my shield advantage at this point. And let's just see. So Trevenant is actually a fantastic response to Lantern. Lantern, another Pokemon of course that got a buff. So it now has access to Surf, which has greatly improved it as a Pokemon actually. It's a really solid Pokemon in Great League now. I think it's ranked like 11th or something. It's very good. So yeah, I farm up extra, and they actually bring back in the Medicham here, so my assumption is that they're just completely sacking it, because they know that it doesn't have any play against my Trevenant or my Sylveon. And so yeah, so I went straight for Shadow Ball there, and it lands. But it's a Drapion in the back, and this is kind of tricky. So I do shield here, my opponent baits me with the Crunch, but I'm going to go straight for this Moonblast. I'm going to go straight for the Moonblast. They've only got one shield. And look how much damage that does. That is unbelievable. So now I can actually very safely let my Sylveon go, and I can just farm Drapion down. So they do actually have Sludge Bomb. We can just farm this Drapion down now. So good game there, that was a close one. Landing that Moonblast was definitely really clutch for me. Really important. So, here we go, hopping into the next battle now. So we have an Altaria. Great lead for Sylveon. They swap into a Lantern, and I respond correctly this time with Trevenant. So I think I saw the same team like 5 times when I was recording these battles. It was Altaria, Lantern, and Registeel, and I was like, a content creator must have put out a video on this team. And it turned out that it was Yonkers actually, so shout out to Yonkers for this team. I think it's a really solid team. But fortunately, my team just lines up perfectly against it. So I take a bit of an unnecessary risk there. I try and farm down because I want to be on really minimal HP, so that the Altaria doesn't get to farm me down and get a ton of energy. So I'm just going to fire off the Shadow Ball here because I'm probably only going to get to one move. I could have maybe fired off the Seed Bomb there, but usually fast moves take priority over charge moves on this game. So I probably wouldn't have got it off anyway. So I knew that was a Focus Blast from Registeel as well, because I only counted up to 7 seconds. I always find that if you're trying to count one turn fast moves, it's easier to just count in seconds rather than to just count rather than to try and count the 1 turn fast moves themselves. So I do let one of these Focus Blasts go because I know that Registeel is probably going to get to 3 of them. So I have to let one of them go, so I choose to retain a shield, and I know that it doesn't KO. And my opponent actually, they're going to throw here. So let's see, do they Zap Cannon me here? Yeah, they do actually Zap Cannon me here. And then they make an... I should have seen that coming. They make an amazing catch on their Altaria, so well played to my opponent. However, I'm not too bothered, because we can hopefully put this into Psyshock range. But if I remember right, I don't think this quite KOs. So yeah, oh my god. Like, Altaria survives on like 1 HP. And is able to get off a Sky Attack, which is kind of unfortunate. But it's fine. But then, look, we've been in this situation before, right? Sylveon versus Registeel should not be a good matchup for Sylveon. And to be honest, like, if you're facing it with like shields up, it probably isn't a good matchup. However, I know that they need to save a shield for my Diggersby. So we actually get them super low. We get them well into Fire Punch range. They Focus Blast me to take me out, which is a good play. There's no point expending extra energy on the Zap Cannon when Focus Blast KO'd. Super close battle there, so GG to my opponent. That was a really good play. And yeah, I think that's the end of the video. So there we go. Quick Attack Sylveon and Diggersby core with Trevenant. Really solid team. I actually recommend that you try it out. And good luck in your battles. Thank you for watching. All that good stuff. Give Pokemon Go a try. See you next time.